Now that is one mindset you could take, but I take a different approach, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I respond to questioning like this for the best possible chance of winning them over and making the sale. Welcome back to the Moneybeard channel. I'm Rob Anderson, founder of Moneybeard, lifelong entrepreneur, teaching you how to make more money and watch it grow. When can I get a haircut? Okay, so we've been covering a lot of ways to make money from home recently due to the whole lockdown situation, but I want to start shifting back into talking about entrepreneur topics, booking gigs, getting clients, etc. This video is sponsored by Perrier, by the way. No, it's not. As things start to open back up, I really do think we're going to see the events in the entertainment industry coming back. We're going to see people booking more services of all types, and since that's my main field, that's where I want to focus some attention. I've done a number of videos about answering tough client questions during the booking and sales process, and if that's something that's helpful to you, make sure you subscribe and check those other videos out down in the description below. Today, though, we're going to talk about a particularly tough and annoying question that comes up. What do you do when a client asks you, why should we book you? I've had this happen, and this is such an annoying question to get asked. It's just rude, right? Let's just call it what it is. It's a rude question to ask someone. There's better ways to ask the same question. I just think it's a rude way to say it. Like, why should we book you? Sell yourself to me. Now, you're not gonna get this question if they call you first, obviously. Like, no one's gonna find your website and then call you up and be like, yeah, we just found your website. Why should we book you? This is why it's great to get that SEO up, get you ranking high in those search results, and get them finding you quick and eager to call you. By the way, as most of you know, I'm speaking as a magician in the events industry, working for mostly corporate and trade show clients when I have these conversations, but what I'm going to show you here applies across the board in any industry where you're selling your service to a client. From plumbers to kids magicians, this applies. Now, you're mostly going to encounter this type of questioning if the client is out there looking for bids on a booking site like Gigmasters, Gigsalad, Thumbtack, etc., where frankly, yeah, a lot of the time, they're looking to find out who's the cheapest. You might get something like this if you're doing direct marketing and are in competition with other vendors also doing direct marketing. Like, they might tell you, okay, you're one of 5 people that's contacted us about the upcoming trade show. So just like in a nutshell, why should we book you? Still a bit rude, but understandable if their phone's been ringing off the hook with cold calls and they're short on time. I get it. Most commonly though, yeah, you're gonna get this when someone went on a booking site to shop around for whoever they could find, and frankly, they see the pictures of some of the people that are on there, and a lot of the profiles on these sites, they just don't garner that much respect because of the way they portray themselves. So the client ends up lumping everyone into that group, and you wind up in a situation where you're on the phone with someone not understanding your value, they haven't read through the great promo you've sent them, and they're asking you, why should we book you? So let's think about what they're actually saying when they're asking this question though. They're coming at you from a standpoint of an abundance mentality, because in their mind, here they are up on top of this hill with all this money, all right? They're just generously about to bestow a few of these dollars onto one of the many peons down below, groveling and begging for the opportunity to work for them. Because chances are, after they submit their request, they did receive quite a few responses from eager vendors, such as yourself, and that's fine. So while they have this abundance mentality, what they're asking is, how are you going to meet my needs? Why are you the best choice out of the many options I have? Now, what do a lot of us want to do when this happens? All right, it's easy to feel disrespected and become irate at something like this. Like, it's easy to get mad and be like, what do you mean, why should you book me? You know who I am? Because I'll have you know I was ranked in the top 10 children's birthday party jugglers in the greater Northeast Scranton, Pennsylvania area. Calm down. I've heard some people say that you should always think of yourself and respond as if you were the biggest player in your game, whether that makes you Jeff Bezos or David Copperfield or Tom Brady. You should always respond like them to increase your perceived value, okay? But here's the thing. You're not Jeff Bezos. Unless you are, which in that case, hi Jeff. Why are you watching this? Now that is one mindset you could take, but I take a different approach, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I respond to questioning like this for the best possible chance of winning them over and making the sale. Now, it is rare that I'll get this, but if someone comes at me with a question like this, I'll empathize with them first. They'll ask, okay, so why should we book you? And I will respond with, well, this early on, to be honest with you, I'm not sure that you should yet. Now, I know that you and I have exchanged a little bit of information so far, but what I'd really like to do is find out a little more about your needs and a little more about your vision for this event. And that way, you and I can decide together if this is a good fit, both ways. Sound fair? Because my goal here is to make sure that you get your needs met. And if it turns out I'm not what you're looking for, I can probably point you in the direction of someone who is. How's that sound? Now, what we've just done here is inserted a major pattern interrupt into the conversation, all right? 9 out of 10 people they're asking this question to, your competition, by the way, are giving them the same type of answer. They're stammering around with, well, I've won this award and I've been in business for this many years and my Facebook rating is 5 stars. And they fall into this expected pattern of basically begging and groveling for the job. What we've done is interrupted that pattern, which is an incredibly powerful tool when you're in a sales conversation like this. Smash the like button, by the way, if you're getting value from this. We've interrupted that pattern and we've preliminarily disqualified ourselves a little bit from the running by telling them, I'm not sure that you should book me yet. Not only is this not what they're expecting to hear, so they'll be much more likely to listen, but we've just turned this conversation around and we're having it on a much more level ground now. A minute ago, they were in this position of power, all right? They were up here holding this potential job that we want over our heads, but now we're having an actual conversation about whether this is a good fit both ways. You're communicating to them, hey, I don't necessarily need this job, but if it's a good fit for both of us, I'd like to work together. Now, the goal is we do want to get the job, okay? And we're going to try to get there, but this is the path we're taking in order to do it. And we really only do want it if it is a good fit for both of us. You don't want to show up somewhere where your work isn't going to be respected. And you do want to weed out the people who are just going to price shop for the cheapest person. And their responses to these questions are going to tell you if that's all they're looking for. If they seem at this point generally non-responsive or they just don't want to be on the phone with you at all, I'd suggest just thanking them for their time and ending the call. I've been on sales calls to sell my services to warm leads who I took through some of my questions I ask, and I'm asking them some very basic questions in order to sell them, such as, tell me a little bit in your words about your vision for the event. And I remember a specific case. This one girl, she was like the event planner for her company. I think I could actually hear her scrolling through Instagram on her phone while she's talking to me. And I swear, she's just like, it's a dinner. Okay, great, so it's a dinner. So tell me a little bit about, in your words, what would make this event a success for you? For people to have fun. I ended that call about 20 seconds later. Ideally though, you're going to get your potential client here into a conversation about what their specific needs are, the problems they're trying to solve, what the cost will be to them if these problems aren't solved. Typical sales call. You want to find out exactly what needs they have and then communicate to them about which services you offer that are the perfect solution to these needs. This is kind of like sales 101 at this point, but hopefully you can see how we've been able to transition the playing field that this conversation was taking on into one that's now much more evenly balanced, and then get it into our favor even by getting them talking about how big their problems are. Notice what else I did there in the example I gave too. I didn't just talk their ear off. I paused and I engaged them in the conversation with simple questions such as, sound fair? How's that sound? A common mistake many people, including myself in the past, make with clients is they talk and they talk and they talk and they don't engage the person and bring their focus back into the conversation. And it's easy to lose someone anytime you're just talking without engaging them in the conversation. And by the way, you might find that after speaking with them for a few minutes that you really aren't a good fit for what they're looking for this time. And that's okay, because you might be in the future. So this time, you make good on your promise and you refer them out to someone that actually is a good fit for them. And hopefully they remember you in the future when they're in a similar situation and they have a lead that they could pass on to you. So now you look good in the eyes of this potential lead, you've helped them solve their problems, and you put them in your email list to follow up with, so you might actually end up getting booked by them in the future when they have something more in line with what you do. Drop me a comment below and let me know what are some tough client questions that you've received. Maybe I'll make a video on that in the future. Again, if tackling tough client questions and getting more bookings is useful to you, remember to subscribe to this channel. Check out some of those other videos down below. Thanks as always for watching. I will see you in the next video.